How you doing today? I'm covering module 3. Did the Irish save civilization? I'll start off with the quote that I chose from Charlemagne, and it is as so: right action is better than knowledge, but in order to do what is right, we must know what is right. With that quote alone, the reason why I selected it is because Charlemagne was someone that didn't necessarily know how to read or write, but he knew what it was to take action in the right direction, not necessarily left or right in the sense of direction. You get what I'm saying? But now, right action is better than knowledge. You can be informed in a lot and have knowledge to a certain degree, but in order to do what is right, we must know what is right. A lot of individuals right is someone's wrong. Meanwhile, someone else is wrong is someone else is right. So that's another argument there. But now my stance on whether or not the Irish saved civilization is where the Irish saved civilization after the Roman fall. In Mr. Cahill's thesis, Patrick was a former Celtic slave brought to Ireland from Roman-era Britain that provided a living alternative. The Irish single-handedly were unfairly portrayed as wild and not civilized, but remember what they went against. They went against what was considered civilization. We look now, 2023, anything you're reading prior has to do with European history. The Irish went against that. So, of course, they were going to be viewed as wild. I mean, nowadays they have the title called mobsters and whatnot. Mr. Cahill's thesis proved how Patrick was his hero, being a former slave. And not only that, a lot of individuals don't necessarily believe that slavery happened in a lot of white countries. You know what I'm saying? Whereas in European countries versus modern Europe, it's very different. And that's where the next question: how does European history and the fall of the Roman Empire relate to us today? It relates to us today because of the turmoil amongst equal protection. Prime example, rights for LGBTQ plus in the public school systems, whereas the state in which the school is in votes against such rights. Probably gonna have to do like the Irish during the time of the Roman emperors. My philosophical thinking about the ethics and logistics of ensuring education for all changed after studying the learning resources in this model. In the early Middle Ages, education was less widespread, and you realize why so many problems amongst nations and whatnot exist. Education for all is needed when thinking about how European history and the fall of the Roman Empire relates to us nowadays. Now, going back to Charlemagne, he didn't know how to necessarily read and write does not mean he wasn't necessarily